If you're deciding to write a novel, one of the first things you should consider is should you be writing it in present tense or past tense. I'm Mark J. Grigson. My debut novel, Sky's End, is getting published in spring of 2024 by Peachtree Teen. I'm also an English teacher. And today I'm going to be continuing on my series. This is part 3 of my series on writing a novel. You might want to follow me for more and check out my other videos. First, let's discuss the difference between past tense and present tense. First, you have past tense. Some examples: he walked, I fell, she leaped. One thing to consider is if you're writing in third person, past often ends in ed, but not always. Present tense, these are the examples: he walks, I fall, she leaps. And here they are both together to compare directly. He walked versus he walks. As you may have noticed here, that the words that are being altered, whether it's past tense or present tense, are the verbs. Those are your action words. Those are the words that are doing something. Generally, you're going to want to stay consistent. So if your book is past tense, it's always past tense. If it's present tense, it's always present tense. However, that can be changed depending upon if you're moving the story backward in like a flashback, for example. One of the advantages to writing in past tense is it's kind of the expected way to tell a story. So your reader's not really going to notice it. If you're going to write in present tense, just keep in mind that your reader's probably going to pay attention to it a little bit more, and they might be even pickier about it too. Not all readers, though. One of the disadvantages to writing in past tense is that it's kind of implied that because this happened in the past, that it might mean that your narrator is okay, and it might undercut any sort of tension, because if they're telling us this story, they probably have to be in an okay state to be able to tell it. But that could depend on the type of narrator you have. If you have an omniscient narrator, that means that your character or your narrator can jump into anybody's head at any time and can pull out into like a God's eye view. Present tense does provide a real sense of immediacy to your text. Things are happening to your character right away. Present tense is also very effective if you're going to be writing an unreliable narrator. An unreliable narrator is somebody who's narrating the story, but we can't quite trust what they have to say. Sometimes they might actually mislead the reader. And when you have that sort of intimate, direct connection through present tense, it can be really effective. Past tense, though, generally gives you more time frame to work with. It's easier to be able to jump around in different time frames in your story because you're operating with past tense. That being said, you could, for example, if you have a character having a flashback in present tense, if they're having a flashback, then you can jump that next scene back into past tense, which is pretty effective as well. There's no right or wrong answer here. Choose the one that works best for your story and what you're trying to say.